What up? It's your boy T-Bird and Reaction Days Music Monday. We're about to get into some direct production right here, and that is none other than get to another piece of hip hop equipment, sampling production equipment that's shape hip hop. So last week we did the MP60. Now we're checking out the MP62. I'm not talking about MT62, MP60 and a Roman numeral 2, aka the Mach 2 version of the the infamous MP60. So definitely want to see what was the big difference between the MP60 and the MP60 Mach 2 as well. So this is MP62. What had happened was from direct production. Let's get it.
I'm still on the MPC 62.
Okay, wait. He's still using the MPC 62. Yep.
What's up? You got your boy Direct, aka Native Shades, reminding you to like and subscribe, because today we're gonna be talking about the MPC 62. What had happened was the MPC 62. So the year is 1991. Africa. Everything in hip hop is African culture right now. It's influenced by African culture. You got everyone wearing the Africa sweaters. Yep. You got Tribe Called Quest going hard with it. De La Soul going hard with it. You know, even Michael Jackson, the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson, put out his Dangerous album with tracks like Remember the Time and Black or White. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop was controlled by African consciousness. But not everybody. You did have groups like Cypress Hill coming out with Left Hand on a 40, Smoking on a Blunt, Pump My Shotgun, them just ain't jump. La 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 la. So you did have some gangster rap still slide themselves in there. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, hip hop was really Africa dominated. And Akai was going through some issues. Now, it was good issues to have. 3 years earlier, they dropped the MPC 60, Roger Lynn's masterpiece device. You had 99 tracks, 99 sequences, 99 patterns. Even till this day, people regard the MPC 60 sequencer as like probably the greatest sequencer of all time. So this Groovebox was a masterpiece. And just like any other business, you got to come up with a new product. It's like high school. You survived freshman Friday, but now let's see if you can make the JV team. Or like even in music, was Nas's second album just as good as his first? I think so. Well, the MPC 60 was Akai's Illmatic. And now they had to come out with the sophomore edition. And they came out with the MPC 62. Now, Roger Lynn himself said that he didn't understand why they made the MPC 62. The MPC 60 was already the perfect machine. You guys didn't have to make another one. But something that he probably didn't quite understand at the time was the mindset of the Japanese culture, especially in the late 80s or early 90s. Japanese culture was very different from American culture. In American culture, you know, they were still doing the thing where, you know, you work your job for 30, 40 years, you're a good employee, you retire, you get your pension, and the company will even give you a watch for your efforts, a nice shiny gold watch.
Who cares? I'm tired.
Japanese culture was very different. They really focus on perfection as far as dealing with their products, and you had to produce. You had to constantly produce. And in actuality, if you got old, they were looking at you that you probably wouldn't be able to produce as much as a younger person would, and they would look to kind of get rid of you in the company. They would politely ask you to resign. And I'm being polite by using the words politely. You know what I'm saying? So you always had to be on top of your game, even if you was an older employee. And 3 years passed by. Listen, we got to bring out a new product. I don't care if this thing's the perfect machine. We got to bring out another perfect machine. We need to keep the lights on in here. And that's when they brought out the MPC 62. Now, the 62 didn't differ much from the 60. You know, in reality, I think when it came out, it had an upgraded OS, but you could upgrade the OS. You could use the OS on your 60. So it's pretty much the same thing. But
That's an interesting thing about that though. Like it's like that now. That even though they have more advanced stuff, eventually the whatever it is on the OS or the feature on the newer product will come down to the previous project. Well, too, like for the Prom, like my DJI, I got my, it's still the case, but the Prom 4 came out first for the Denim DJ, and then the Prom 2 and Go came out later. They had like features that the Prom 4 didn't have till later on to the next update on the OS, where now everything has the same, all the proms have the same kind of like features as well too. That some that they didn't have before, they have on the earlier new release, but added on their previous release as well too. So that's common as well. Even with the MPC, like MC Live 2, the MCX have like feature that's advanced, then it got added to the MPC or MPC or MPC Studio, stuff like that. But yeah, it's always be like that. Like the newer product will have the newer mock of a upgrade version of a product will have the feature, but the OS version should be available for the previous feature as well too, just in case.
Qualities was different. Number one is, instead of the metal casing, they gave it a plastic casing. Instead of the adjustable screen, they gave it a fixed screen. And they threw in what was probably the most significant addition on any piece of hardware. And that was, yes, you guessed it, the infamous headphone jack in the front. Now I know what you're saying. You're probably thinking, okay, big deal. They put a headphone jack in the front. Who cares? No, YouTuber. This is a very, very, very big deal.
That's a big deal. I mean, that is a big deal that they did. That's a big deal because sometimes you want to listen to your stuff and when your own stuff playing through the headphones. That's a big deal right there.
It's kind of like, remember when you first, when you got your cell phone and you first used the wired earpiece? After you use a wired earpiece, it's hard to go back to not using the earpiece. It's hard to go back to holding that phone in your hand and talking on it.
Right.
It's like when you take the bus, when you're used to taking the bus and then all of a sudden you get your driver's license. After a while, you look at that bus stop and you're like, nah, I can't do that again unless it's absolutely necessary.
But still.
Or even better yet, I don't know if y'all remember, but there was a time in the 80s and, early to mid 90s where a family would gather on, let's say, a Sunday evening and sit together in their living room. And every now and then, a brave soul would nervously get up from their seat and take a walk to the television, turn the knob, and change the channel.
Oh, God.
Yes, this was a time that they would actually go to the television set and change the channel until they invented remote controls. After remote controls, people did not walk to the TV anymore. People don't even know where the channel buttons are on their television. I mean, think about your TV. Do you know where the channel button is? You got some flat screens out here. People's like, hey, man, your remote control might be under the chair or something. People's like, hey, bro, you know what a remote is? Nah, man. All right, just go to television, just change it.
They ain't body, it ain't happening since a lot of stuff are like connected by either HDMI or the cable box and stuff like that, and even not even the cable box have like a channel tuner. You just have the box, that's it. So you're kind of fucked. You're kind of fucked if you can't find your remote control. unless you get like a feature on your phone to change channel. But yeah, you're kind of fucked.
The channel manually. You're like, oh, okay, you're in front of the TV. This is your TV. And you don't know where the hell the channel buttons are. You're like touching your hand all over the screen. Like, is it here? Is it on the top? Is it on the side? Oh, they got it on the back to the left. Why would they put it there? But that's how much of a big difference putting a headphone jack, especially on the front of the unit, makes it for the producer. And believe it or not, a lot of producers switched to the MPC 62. You know, you had guys like DJ Premier, who was making Daily Operation with Gangstar, who later switched to the MPC 62 and made bangers like Mass Appeal, Come Clean, and everything like that. You had the legendary Battle Cat, who was working with Domino. Here we go, something, 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 something with the Mac Pack back from Bang.
Wow.
I don't know the lyrics, man, but you know the song. He switched to the MPC 62. You had guys like DJ Quick, who said, if you knew better, you got the MPC 62. Now, that was very big. You know what I'm saying? If a producer's telling you, if you knew better, you would get this machine. You even had guys like Just Blaze, who later on switched up to the MPC 62. Matter of fact, the one he got was used to create Slick Rick's second whole album. So this was a very important piece of gear when it came out at the time. One of the reasons that it was so attractive at the time was because of the price. You gotta remember, the original MPC 60, when it came out, it was $5,000. Remember in Scarface, when the guy goes, "Dígame, you go and you make this sale, and you're going to make $5,000." Remember how big that sounded back then in the movie? Well, Tony Montana, after he made that sale, he could have brought an MPC 60. But that's how much money the MPC 60 cost. The MPC 62, when it came out, it was $1,800. So that's a huge difference.
Wow.
And the guys that knew better was able to dupe the electronic stores. Like, you know, like how like early eBay, a lot of people was duping them and buying all this legendary gear for cheap, like ASR 10s and MPC 3000s. They were buying for like, you know, $400, $300 in early eBay. The same thing was going on back then with the MPC 62. You know, there would be a guy that'll own a shop, and the cashier behind the register would be like, hey boss, we got a guy and he's returning the MPC 60. And the boss would be like, what do you mean he's returning the MPC 60? Yeah, that goes for it's $5,000. We marked ours down to $4,500 since it's been here for 3 years. But what do you mean he's trying to return it? Yeah, he wants to return it. You know what? This guy's a real a-hole. If he wants to return it, we're just gonna give him $4,000.
Oh,
wow,
shit.
you think we could do? Yeah, we can do that. This is my store.
Lord.
So he'll go to the guy and he'll be like, yeah, you want to return this, huh? Okay, you can return it. You're only gonna get $4,000. Guy'll be like, damn, really, man? I paid $5,000 for this. Yeah, that was 3 years ago. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
He would put on the Fat Joe picture when he did that, because that's what he said on a Big Champ's interview. Oh my God.
So the guy'd be like, okay, all right, fine, I'll take the $4,000. All right, yeah,
Lord.
thanks. Here's your cash. Have a nice day, sucker.
Ooh.
And he'll walk out the store. You know what I'm saying? But not knowing that the guy that got his money back is the one that really came off with the real deal. Because the MPC 62 is basically the same unit, and it's marked down to $1,800. So the guy actually never took a loss. He actually made a $2,200 profit. You know what I'm saying? So now he can go and buy an S950 along with his MPC 62, or buy another piece of gear.
That's crazy. Somebody hooked up the MPC 60 for it to use a flash drive.
You know, so
Okay, I'm back. So yeah, I'm not sure why I was freezing up. I was saying how unique it is that somebody customized the MPC 62 with for it to use a USB flash drive. Same with the S950 though. That's pretty awesome right there. But anyway, let's keep going. Hopefully it don't freeze again.
Or buy another piece of gear he really wanted, you know? So this was something that a lot of producers back then that knew better was doing, because a lot of the stores was not up on the fact that the new item is the same thing as the old item. It's just marked down for the most part. And they just put a couple of features like the headphone jack, the new chassis, and the screen. So yeah, man, that's
Nice.
the MPC 62.
What has
So this is your boy Direct, aka Native Shades, reminding you to go down low in the description and get that MPC 1 Hidden Strategies, where I'm giving you a free MPC 4
Oh, all right. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, let me finish this off. Oh,
1,000 sound library.
anyway, it's in there anyway. But anyway, there you have it. The MP62. Pretty interesting story. How like, in addition to the headset joke, the headphone jack, the updated OS and feature, as well as it being priced down. That's good way to get folks into the MPC though. That's pretty awesome how they did that. So yeah, other than that, definitely a good video right here. We'll keep going with the MPC stories with direct production. So I'm gonna try to figure what is next in the history of MPC to try to check out. But other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.